And so, yeah, obviously I'm not pleased with the game. It sucks to lose like this. But at the same time, I feel like it just allowed our bench to kind of get.
She is complaining.
Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white.
The reason that Caitlin Clark was so popular was because she was white.
It's 100% about race, she said.
When A.A. Wilson took the podium during a live TV broadcast and said something nobody saw coming, the WNBA world came to a complete halt. Aya, who is well known for her composure, passion, and powerful performances, broke with the script and made an unvarnished remark that immediately went viral on social media. Her audacious remarks surprised players, spectators, and pundits as they reverberated across the league. However, what precisely did she say, and why is this unanticipated incident now regarded as one of the WNBA's most impactful statements? To believe it, you must hear it. The league is rocked by the brutal truth. It didn't require a last-minute buzzer beater or a viral moment. Aya Wilson and a microphone were all that was required. Just the kind of unvarnished honesty that seems uncommon in a world of well-rehearsed news conferences and meticulous soundbites. No script, no filler. After a difficult defeat, A.A. didn't hold back when she spoke. Furthermore, once her statements were broadcast, they could not be taken back. She wouldn't have wanted to. The Las Vegas Aces had just finished another exasperating game that left teammates clearly exhausted and fans perplexed. Aya leaned into the truth rather than using platitudes to hide it. She stated in a calm but firm voice, "We look great for a quarter, then like we've never met the next." Cutting. There was no meltdown. It was more akin to a polite wake-up call. It could be referred to as a warning by some or a challenge by others. In any case, it was hard to ignore. This season of AA is different in some way. Sharper and more powerful. Perhaps it's the pressure of leading a team of champions or the increased demands of being an experienced leader. One thing is certain, though, she has a history of irregular babysitting. Wilson made it obvious that there would be no more excuses since the season was halfway over and playoff spots were becoming more and more scarce. Like a thundercloud, that line lingered in midair. This was more than a single game. It had to do with a pattern. The Aces had dominated early on, using grit and intensity to defeat clubs like New York. However, they faltered just as fast, losing badly to lower-tier teams and leaving supporters to wonder which it was that would be the next club to play. I didn't act like everything was all right. What many whispered, she said. Someone had to rekindle the fire because it was flickering. And don't assume that this was all discussion. The only evidence anyone needed was Wilson's preseason performance without Chelsea Gray in the starting lineup. She maintained her composure when the team appeared shaken, making crucial shots, making hard stops, and forcing her team into overtime where they managed to pull off a victory. Win by 5 points. Kelsey Plum, one of her teammates, said it best. "It's only a jaw. She is all passion and all battle." It was impossible for Coach Becky Hammond to conceal her admiration. She sets an example, but you pay attention when she says something like that. It was more than just the candor. It was done by the appropriate authority. Fans are now wondering if Aya's bluntness is a sign of friction in the locker room, or if it's precisely what the Aces need right now, a spark. In any case, Wilson's remarks are generating conversation. And perhaps her remarks were meant to evoke a reaction if they did. Since Aya Wilson doesn't waste words, that's the one thing we've learned from her. As she talks, it has a purpose. Additionally, she might have ignited the match that ignites her team and potentially the league as a whole this time. However, what caused A.A. Wilson to give her players a harsh mid-season warning and adopt a no-nonsense attitude?
Keep an eye out.
This becomes intense. The game changed when Aya spoke. After tipping off, the lights had just begun to dim when A.A. Wilson did something unexpected. She spoke with a clear, unwavering sincerity that reverberated around the arena rather than a shout. This wasn't your typical news conference or inspirational speech. There was something more profound and unadulterated. And although some might consider it audacious, Aya saw it as just essential. Her purpose for being there was not to be silent. Since then, one thing has been abundantly evident since the high-profile transfer to the Fever in January. Aha came to win, not to warm the bench, and she didn't wait to make that known. When questioned about her coming, she allegedly stated, "This team is on the edge of something big." That intensity has been driving everything from heated timeouts to pre-game warm-ups. I didn't come to watch mediocrity. This season, the Fever have a very active roster. There is a simmering tension of anticipation, pressure, and possibility as rising star Caitlin Clark finds her footing while seasoned players Dana Bonner and Natasha Howard steady the ship. However, when the falling of shots, whether it's brief or lacks effort, AA's voice is what gets through. As a charge, not as a lecture. During that flaming night versus Atlanta, the fans sensed it. AJ's double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds, was more than simply a numerical record. It was a declaration. After the game, she smiled and joked, "It's about damn time." However, what came next wasn't humorous. Her remarks were purposefully complex. Conviction, not criticism. "The Fever has to improve," declared, she said, without whispering. Powerful things aren't merely what Aya says. Things is the way she puts things. She doesn't mince words. She never employs deception or justifications. Although her remarks are harsh, they are significant because they are based on accountability rather than superiority. Fans are now raising the volume. Even rivals are taking notice as teammates are improving their game. Because Aya is leading when she speaks, not just talking. The number of people that listen from the court to the crowd, however, truly astounded everyone. Something changed. The question today isn't whether AA Wilson is altering the game. Rather, it's how far she will push it. However, what did Aya Wilson say that astonished fans, hushed coaches, and paralyzed teammates? To discover out, keep your eyes on your screen. The league was rocked by that moment. That wasn't the decisive shot or everyone was talking after the incredible overtime finish. A look, a microphone, and a single statement from AA Wilson were what rocked the league. After a few seconds of cameras rolling and lights beaming, AA boldly and unvarnishedly revealed the truth live on television. Pure, unreserved fire, no scripting, no making things nice. Supporters leaned closer. Coworkers froze. Coaches blinked. Her words didn't only reverberate across the arena. The basketball world was rocked by it. The Indiana Fever had been mired in a rut for weeks. The plays appeared to be predictable. Motion infraction after motion infraction without any discernible tempo or urgency. It had been whispered throughout the crowd. The players had sensed it. Aya then uttered it aloud. "No more fences involving motion." A straightforward line, but it revealed something. Silence at first, followed by a loud reaction. Without hesitation, Caitlin Clark, a rookie who already commands headlines, took action. In addition to reposting the video, she wrote, "100% with you." It was more than just a gesture of assistance. It was a declaration and a statement. Clark wasn't merely in agreement with Aya. She loudly and strongly supported her. That move was crucial in a league where rookies are frequently expected to be quiet. Veteran Kelsey Mitchell, who is renowned for her poise and leadership, also didn't flinch. She actually grinned. "That's the tone we need," she later told reporters. Real-time truth. She didn't perceive any drama. She perceived clarity, sincerity. The kind that had been lacking all season for a club in dire need of a spark. Unexpectedly, the remainder of the locker room was quiet. When the truth becomes too real for morning coffee, Sydney Coulson added some humor with a meme of a mid-rant captioned. Yes, it was humorous, but it had genuine support at its core. There was no meltdown here. It was the epitome of leadership. The moment became viral on the internet. Previously, hashtags like FeverWakeUp and Sidaja were popular on Twitter. From finally someone saying it to she's doing what the coach won't, fans shared everything. Threads on Reddit became viral. "That's not drama, that's the direction," a fan commented. Even those who weren't entirely in favor of locker room thoughts being broadcast on national television admitted it. People started discussing after hearing a jaw. Talk shows about sports played it repeatedly. Like a finals play, ESPN's debating table broke it down. Was this a planned action or an unplanned outburst? Had she said what veterans had been whispering for weeks behind closed doors? Or had AA simply gone rogue? It was referred to as a tactical mic drop by Yahoo Sports. Some outlets asked if the conflict with the coaching staff had now reached a boiling point. Players from other teams also added their voices. Some commended AA's bravery. Everyone agreed, but some cautioned that voicing one's opinions in such a way could cause difficulty. Suddenly, the Indiana Fever were the WNBA's most talked about team, not because of their record of wins and losses, but rather because of an unafraid, ferocious, and unavoidable moment. The topic of discussion suddenly shifted from AA Wilson to leadership, integrity, and what it means to demand more during a difficult season. The change that nobody anticipated. It wasn't a buzzer beater or a popular clip play that started it all. A microphone was used first. Wilson, who was already a dominant force on the court, entered a new realm of attention. And all of a sudden, things felt different. Fans who had lost interest in the league were returning within a few days. Now, analysts who had previously only mentioned the Fever were devoting entire parts to it. The hum wasn't solely focused on a stat line or score.
There was more to it than that.
A crack had appeared in something. Asa was at the heart of it all. She didn't take her time. No warm-up was performed. During a post-game interview, her voice became hard, her smile vanished, and she spoke in a way that could be heard over the arena walls. Even though she didn't mention names, everyone in the room understood exactly what she meant. She wasn't merely discussing defense or hustling. She was criticizing the lack of urgency, the quiet when someone wanted to talk, and the burden that some people were bearing by themselves. And she carried it with clarity and grit rather than theatrics. The influence of AA extends well beyond the statistical report. Although she has given some incredible performances, her emotional leadership is what people are talking about. There is a new rhythm in the locker room. Teammates are locking in, and fans are getting back involved. Is this the start of a change in culture? Nobody questioned AA's talent when she debuted this season. The kind of fire she would bring off the ball, diving for loose rebounds, challenging every possession, making jokes through the pain, and then going into full fight mode is what many people missed. Her presence now feels more like the cornerstone upon which everything is being constructed than it does like a role player's contribution. She is no longer merely playing. She is leading with bite, passion, and with a voice that doesn't hold back without authorization. The question today is, has AA Wilson turned out to be the voice this squad has always needed? And are we witnessing the emergence of a star that represents something greater than itself? Whatever it is, neither we nor the fans can turn away. What if, however, AA Wilson's leadership is subtly changing the identity of the entire team? Keep an eye out. This is something you won't want to miss. No headline made the news, whether it was by vocal leadership or silent strength. Not a single highlight attracted notice. It just started. It began with a brief moment. Following a devastating defeat, Wilson appeared in front of the media with steady eyes and a clear voice, saying the words that reverberated more than any buzzer. Although we are on everyone's calendar, nobody loves us except ourselves. It was more than just annoyance. It was an exhortation for solidarity, passion, and something more profound than statistics. All of a sudden, the season's tone changed. Wilson, who is well known for having an explosive presence on the court, has contributed much more this season than just blocks and rebounds. Phoenix was beaten halfway through the season, with important players hurt, a rocky relationship, and growing media criticism. AA didn't flinch, though. Even though the scoreboard showed a different picture, she provided the team with emotional support and kept everything together. Her once subtle leadership became clear, vocal, apparent, and well-respected. Take that angry, irascible foul amid a contentious battle in Connecticut. Yes, the one when she fiercely defended Caitlin Clark and was ejected as a result. Even though the call took her off the court, it garnered her a new respect from both teammates and supporters. Instead of jeering, the audience applauded. She demonstrated that she was all in, not because she was out. It wasn't being careless. It served as a reminder of the team's core values, commitment, and
Grit.
even more remarkable is the fact that her move from Indiana to Phoenix has been both personal and professional. Wilson freely acknowledged that she had become very accustomed to the Mercury system. She has now eagerly embraced Phoenix's demands, imparting her knowledge of championship performance to newer players like Caitlin Clark. The front desk took notice. Her consistency was commended by coach Stephanie White. GM Amber Cox emphasized her capacity for systemic leadership. She referred to veteran Dana Bonner as the difference. She is a power, even just in the locker room. Sydney Carlson, a veteran, said it was the ideal mix of discipline and delight, something that invigorated team dynamics in ways that are not quantifiable in points. That's the problem with Azah. She does more than simply play hoops. She is creating something more significant, and a precisely timed double-double in the midst of it all, against Atlanta, which eased tensions and stoked the team's passion. Her message is now obvious, her actions are more obvious, and her voice is louder. Their purpose is not to observe. Their purpose is to compete. Is this AA's apex, then? Or is this just the start? Could Aya Wilson's shift have been a complete metamorphosis rather than only a transfer? This narrative is only getting started, so stay tuned. The silent spark that started the fire in Indiana. It all started with a microphone and a smile. After defeating Dallas handily, Aya Wilson did more than simply enjoy the win. She made a provocative remark that lit up the airwaves. Like myself, Indiana supporters are fiery and spunky. There was laughter. However, below the humorous remark was something much more profound, illustrating how Azah has subtly turned into the beating heart of a rising squad. Although she wasn't the loudest person in the room at first, her energy now fills it. Her trip to Indiana was a statement more than merely a transfer. She won hearts and hardware during her 6 successful seasons with the Las Vegas Aces, but 2025 came an unexpected turn of events. She was sent to Indiana in a 4-team transaction. Many referred to it as a gamble. AA, however, perceived it as something else. A fresh start, a more difficult task, and the opportunity to create something enduring with up-and-coming talent like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah, Dana Bonner, and Boston. AA, who was born in Columbia, South Carolina on August 8, 1996, was never your typical athlete. She had already made NCAA history by the time she joined the WNBA, as South Carolina dominated the league and won the Wooden and Namath Awards. However, she is creating a new chapter in Indiana that is more about soul than statistics. She continues to display her trademark aggressiveness on the court, battling for position, diving for stray balls, and making crucial shots. However, her scoring is no longer the main topic of conversation among teammates and supporters. It's her. She's the one that keeps calm during games and cheers people up after difficult periods. Dana Bonner and Boston. AA, who was born in Columbia, South Carolina on August 8, 1996, was never your typical athlete. She had already made NCAA history by the time she joined the WNBA, as South Carolina dominated the league and won the Wooden and Namath Awards. However, she is creating a new chapter in Indiana that is more about soul than statistics. She continues to display her trademark aggressiveness on the court, battling for position, diving for stray balls, and making crucial shots. However, her scoring is no longer the main topic of conversation among teammates and supporters. It's her. She is the one that keeps calm during games and cheers people up after difficult periods. When the spotlight dims and the cameras cease rolling, keep an eye out. The plot of this narrative is currently developing, live on television. Fans weren't tense because of the buzzer beaters or slam dunks. It was AJ Wilson's live statement when the cameras were rolling and the lights were hot. Known for her unwavering determination, calm leadership, and quiet fire, few anticipated that she would create headlines when she left the court. However, it did, and it struck more forcefully than any block she had ever made. With her off-season move, AA had already started to draw attention before the viral soundbite went viral on social media. Basketball wasn't the only factor in her decision to join the Indiana Fever.
It was intimate.
For AA, going back to the Midwest seemed like more than just a place to pursue a job. It was like returning home. She discovered more than simply a New Jersey, surrounded by family, supported by a devoted fan base, and welcomed by a city that thrives on hard work and perseverance. She discovered a newfound sense of direction. She established herself as a true Swiss Army knife on the floor, as well as a vocal leader from the first day of training camp. Her style combined the physicality of an experienced post with guard-like speed and wingla-level range. Her worth was instantly recognized by the coaches. She wasn't a stand-in. She was giving it a new meaning. And after she dominated Atlanta with a 16-point, 10-rebound performance, double-double, which included a stunning defensive stop and 4 three-pointers, her admirers were observing her take charge, not simply her play. However, statistics by themselves would never be sufficient to gauge her legacy. Things flared up during a heated matchup with the Connecticut Sun in June. Caitlin Clark, a teammate, attention seeker, and rookie sensation, was pushed to the side. There was tension in the arena. Without thinking, AA took over. Not only physically, but also vocally. After fighting with opponents and defending her friend, she was ejected and fined heavily. However, the response was explosive. Supporters gathered. Social internet exploded, and sales of She jersey increased. AA changed from being a top athlete to something greater in that instant. She took on the roles of enforcer, guardian, anchor, and heart of the squad. She had the support of her teammates. She has unrivaled energy, Caitlin Clark stated plainly.
GM.
Amber Cox praised her competitive drive and referred to her as one of the league's top shooters. She was referred to as the team's X-Factor by coach Stephanie White. And admirers. They witnessed someone who would do anything to preserve the team's unity. This brings us full round to the live television moment. The unexpected statements that took everyone by surprise. Was it a premeditated message, simmering frustration, or just the unvarnished truth? Whatever it was, it triggered a reaction.
It
reminded supporters that a Wilson's purpose extends beyond competition. She is here to speak up, lead, and defend. However, what do you believe Aya Wilson meant when she made such audacious remarks that left everyone in disbelief? We want to know what you think about the comments. Remember to like and subscribe too.